do you think that you can be more honest with your significant other because you were friends before you started engaging in physical attraction for each other?
Oh, me?
Either one.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Do you think you can, because your friendship was a foundation before you got married, does it help you like be more honest with each other, or does it help you understand triggers differently? Or
I think with honesty, I mean, I think that still goes back to Christ having, like Christ being the foundation. Because if Christ is your foundation, you're gonna be honest. I always try to be honest with my wife. I don't ever want to deliberately like lie to her and anything like that. And if I do, I feel bad and I'll repent and I'll tell her that maybe I said something that was wrong or something like that. But with Christ as your foundation, I'm not looking to lie about anything. Just stay honest. Honest is, I would think, is crucial in a relationship. So yeah.
Well, it makes sense. If you are both getting direction from the same source.
Yeah.
So if you're both being led by the same source, obviously y'all's beliefs and everything that falls on top of that is the same. So I definitely could see that too.
Well, honesty in telling the truth, but also what you withhold. Like how much if they're asking your opinion about something, are you giving your honest opinion, or are you giving them something that's a little more palatable? Because you understand them better.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I did. I remember something. When I was a little kid, and she wanted me to vacuum upstairs. We had carpet. I would just vacuum one piece of the carpet, and she's like, "Did you vacuum the stairs?" I'd be like, "Yeah," and I would just vacuum one little piece. So, and I would say "Yeah, I vacuumed all the stairs when I didn't." So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You scared to withhold anything from Ashley?
Withholding? No. I mean, like I said, just having that background as friends that, I don't think was anything to, as a friend, you want to tell your partner everything. I think that's the most important part is you're excited and you're genuinely excited to be around this person. Like, if you don't have friendship, if you're just attraction, there's a lot of times where you just want to be intimate with that person. But what can we do other than just intimately? Like, I want to hang out with you. We want to go traveling together. Like, if we just had a night where we were just chilling, listening to some music and sipping wine, like, that's cool too. Like, those type of things. But going back to, like, the friend zone, I'm really interested because I know that in society we view friend zoning as more of a woman friend zoning a man. Like, how do you guys feel like you ever friend zoned someone or ever been friend zoned, or how do what do you think about that? Or
I've friend zoned. I've been friend zoned. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. And as far as like combining it with the relationship and opposite sex, I think people have definitely, that's something that is a hot topic that you can find a lot of people not agreeing with.
I have friend zone, but I feel like at that point, if the relationship of that sort comes to the point where they're saying they're interested and you're not interested, then you have to take a step back and make that interaction more casual if they still want to engage in a friendship with you. Because at least at that point, you have an understanding of a mutual understanding of your affections for one another. But I have done that technically before. I wouldn't say I've been friend zoned. I've been like ghosted, but like not necessarily like, oh, I'll just be his friend. Like, no, I know what I want. I know I'm not dealing with somebody of the opposite sex and we're just saying friends. Because when I say friends, we're supposed to be close friends. Mm-hmm. I can only get so close to a guy with my emotions. I'm not expecting a guy to feel the same way I feel. I can't talk to him about feminine issues. I mean, even we had a moment one time when you called me and I was like, see, she couldn't have done this around the guys. But it was just like a moment when, okay, you were crying, but I was like, I understand where she's coming from as a woman. Oh, yes, but it was like, okay, it's one of those areas in vulnerability that you can't really go there with the opposite sex.
Okay, so there is limitations, right? Dealing
Definitely.
with opposite sex. And I'm talking about just in a friendship, like what's okay to interact. So obviously, like vulnerability is maybe not as comfortable to do with the opposite sex as who's a friend of the opposite sex, correct? Or
right. I remember a friend I had in college, a really nice guy. We could still be friends to this day, but we're just casual friends. You know, he's married and everything. But even when I was his one of his training clients, he had other female training clients, but people would ask him, "Is that your girlfriend?" And I'd be like, "Why would they distinguish me from other girls? Because you post other girls on your page too." And he's like, "I don't know." But we always had that understanding. We never even talked about that subject. We would talk about each other's people that we were seeing, but we never got into that topic about if we liked each other or not. It was just an understanding that we're going to respect this friendship we have.
I think that's the important part of having a friend of the opposite sex. You have an understanding that this is where we're keeping it. We're friends. Obviously, if you got one person, I mean, it happens a lot of times. You'll have one person that kind of verbally or just hint at the fact of liking this other person and possibly wanting to be in a relationship, but understanding of that, your expectation is not going to always be reality, right? You have one person that, okay, I want to do this. Another person's like, no. And being able to move on. I think a lot of people break up friendships because they don't know how to maneuver after the fact of somebody not wanting to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so that's why the friend zone exists.
Yeah. So
they don't know how to maneuver out of that.
Like I guess my question would be, if you, like Josie, if you friend zone somebody, how do you recover that friendship with that person after they've obviously, you know, they probably feel rejected? How do you recover that friendship?
So I have a friend that has expressed to me like that, you know, he's asked for me to give him an opportunity because that's what I am, an opportunity. So just just kidding. But
God's gift on this green planet.
No, but for real, I am. And we've been friends since a long time. I'm gonna say like college years. And you know, when he's expressed it to me, I stop it right there. Like I'm just like, you know, we're friends, and it's kind of just shifted to like, it has made me feel uncomfortable because like to me, like me as I only speak for myself. If I friend zone you, like I friend zone you, like I mentally can. I always have people tell me I think like a man, but I can like emotionally detach myself. And if you're my friend, then that's it. You will always and forever RIP my friend. And so he'll be like, you know, now when we have conversations, and I think he saw that I kind of kept my distance. Like when I've already told him like, you know, well, we're friends. He'll make comments like, well, whenever I do meet somebody, I hope she's like you, or she just has X, Y, and Z of you because you're just, you know, I'm just such an amazing, amazing person. But no, this is really what he tells me. And, but we're still friends because you know what? I know myself and I won't cross that line. And he has my back. Like he has my back to the fullest. Like he's so respectful. He's been there. We've been there for each other in times honestly, like it would hurt me to lose him as my friend. Like, and I was married, and you all that are in relationships, I would like to know, you know, now, like it was a problem, like in my marriage to have him as a friend. When I got with my husband at the time, I told them like, hey, I have I have 3 guy friends. One's back home, 2 are my college friends. Like I introduced them and everything, and I ended up having to stop being friends with him because it was affecting my marriage. But I would never allow that to happen again. Now, am I wrong for thinking that? Like, I felt like I would, you know, put the boundaries and respect my husband too. Like, you know, he was always around. He knew, like, you know, and I think one time that got him upset was really what made me, like, he made me just end my friendship. Was I had text, okay, you know, he was traveling or something. I was like, okay, be safe. And I put love you, and he's like, love you too. And he's just like,
oh no,
what are you telling your friend you love him for? And this, mind you, we've been friends for over 10 years. I'm not 24, 25. I know I look at, I'm 30.
love you.
Love you to another man.
He means it. Like, how do you not know that he means love you too?
When this happened, this wasn't, he never, like, it was just friends. This was like our college, this was like years before, like when he confessed himself to me, it was after that.
But that was what you knew. That was before he confessed his feelings for you.
Right.
So at that time, he really could have meant, dang, I really love her too. Even though I haven't said it yet.
Yeah, but I was like, I love you, friend. Like, love you too. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
but I
that-
can understand why your ex got upset about that, because it's like,
Yeah.
So-
Yeah,
That-
that's
that's
definitely
language.
understandable. Yeah.
Like Kobe, how would you feel? Like,
how would you have handled that situation?
If I saw that my wife said "I love you" to another man, I would be pretty furious. I would be upset. I would just question her about it and be like, "Hey, you, who is this guy?" I mean, did your husband already know the guy, right?
Yeah, I met them. That's what I'm saying. The situation,
Okay.
like I when we before we even like moved in together, anything, like I told him, I was like, I have 3 guy friends, and I even introduced them, and I never hung out with him or anything unless my husband was there.
Yeah, my wife also, she still has these 3 guy friends too. She's got like 3 guy friends as well since high school. But I was always kind of jealous of them too, because she would also sit with them at lunch when I was graduated, because I graduated a year before, or year before she was graduated. So it would probably make me upset if I saw
So
an I love you
today,
text.
does your wife have any guy friends?
I don't think so. Not really. She doesn't talk to those
She's
other
not-
people
She
anymore.
doesn't talk to those 3 guy friends no more. Anymore?
Not very much.
Is it
It's
just
rare.
like social media?
Yeah, pretty much.
acquaintances.
Yeah.
You can't.
She's
can't
kind of
come
just
friends.
respected that part. Since we got married, so yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think COVID? Sorry, Larry. Do you think maybe COVID and just we have been living some crazy years? Do you think maybe that's probably put like a strain from like all the maybe where they could have hanged out as friends and just kind of, and then like even me too, like some of my best friends that are girls, it's kind of became a social media relationship now, just because we moved the distance, we're in different phases in our lives, so could that be a reason also that they're not as close as friends?
Well, it could be, but also when we were just dating, we just set some boundaries up to where we wouldn't like hang out with the opposite sex one-on-one, or just around that area. We would just be safe and respect each other still, but we could still have friends of the opposite sex, and still. I don't remember about texting them. I don't think that was much a problem, or maybe it was a little bit at first, but yeah.
Larry's over here like
Lawrence, give us your answer.
The way I look at it, text messages, if you're not comfortable sharing those text messages, then you shouldn't be texting that other person.
Well, mind you, he wasn't my husband at the time. We were like 3 years in, 2-3 years in, and I never locked my phone. He could get into my phone whenever he felt like it. Like,
Yeah, but
I've never social medias, all that passwords. Everything was the same.
It's a certain level of boundaries that you have to, if you're with somebody, because you're choosing to be with somebody now. It's not like you're just single where you can do whatever. Now you're choosing to take accountability for that person's feelings and understanding that if this person's not comfortable, then you know what, I may have to adjust what I'm doing, and understanding that. Because again, not everybody's comfortable with their partner hanging out with the opposite sex.
Would you be okay with that?
Would I be okay with that? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I could say me either.
I believe, because I have, you guys are my friends. I have other females, other women who are just friends. But if my wife is not comfortable enough, then I just have to. You have to understand as my friend to be like, you know what, she's not comfortable. Like, other than if we can all hang out together. But certain things like, okay, us one-on-one, what do we need to do that for?
I can respect that. I can honestly respect that. Like if he did ask me that and I did that, I think maybe if you know me as a person, like I'm quick to say, I love you, I miss you, like that's part of who I am too. I think if he would have discussed that, like, hey, I'm not comfortable with that, I think his approach was different, but I could have respected. I'd be like, you know what? I won't say that. I mean, I did eventually end up telling him, like, I'm sorry, like, we can't be friends like that anymore. Like, I can't communicate with you no more because my husband, he ended up being my husband, is not okay with it.
Yeah.
So I did, try to make him feel comfortable. But, I mean, I think the way you said, I think that's perfect. Like, hey, if I can still have him in my life, even if it's just a text or just, maybe we can all hang out if it's a thing. I would be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Now, based on the way both of you reacted, do you think it's innate within a guy when he sees his woman who has male friends to assume that, okay, they're probably attracted to her, whether she's admitting it or not?
I think as a man, not to say we look at every man as competition, but you often size up other men and look at other men as in like, okay, I don't feel comfortable like having my girl just to be around somebody just like that. Because it's like, not to say anybody's your possession, but you view your woman as a prize, right? And you don't want that prize just to be given. You're not going to give up that prize just to anybody, because now you're taking the role of just like, okay, we're just friends. Because if somebody's just friends, that person can hang out with whatever. But if you're saying that we're together, then no, that's you have to give me a valid reason of, okay, why you need to hang out with this person alone. Why do you need to spend time? Because I just don't understand it. Because again, I didn't grow up in a household like that. My mom didn't have any male friends hanging out. I don't know what that looks like. I didn't grow up with my aunts or grandmothers just having just other men that weren't married or in the family just hanging out around. So I don't know what that looks like. So I would need to understand that further before I would feel comfortable with something like that. Mm-hmm. And plus, we live in a society now where it's like there's a lot of different activities, strange activities, what I would call it, as in people not being faithful in their relationship. So you also have to take that in accountability and think about that in the back of your mind before you accept that or are comfortable with something like that.
So would you say that's jealousy, or would you say that's just that that there's sinful ways out there and you're just trying to protect that from the sin trying to enter into y'all's relationship? So it's just more of like, do you think it's coming from a jealousy part, or just what's out there?
I mean, let's be honest. Your woman could have great intentions about you, right? Like she could be like, "Oh, this is just my friend," but at the end of the day, you're telling me the person that likes you and is okay with just being in the friend zone. If something happened to me, he'd be gladly to take my spot.
And you know that.
And you know that.
How do you know that?
Huh?
How do you know that?
We're talking about the situation that Josie just laid out.
Okay.
If somebody says, "I love you," that actually likes you and wants to be with you, and I'm with you, as a man, it's like, what's going on here? This is very weird. Like if you're saying, yeah, you can say
No, this was before. This was before he even told me.
Before he confessed his feelings.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think as men, you want your woman just to belong to you or just to be to you. You don't want her to be for everyone else. There's a saying that people talk about, people for the streets. You don't want your partner to necessarily be for everybody. You want that partner to be for yourself.
What if they always work together? What if they work together and they're always together?
Just have to have boundaries.
It should just be about work.
That's a lot of work. What ifs? I mean, there's a conversation out there about how comfortable, people have work husbands and work wives. I mean, I personally wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't be, because I personally wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that to somebody else.
I mean, for example, you see just production side. I'm a female, Jay's a male. Like you see us work a lot together. Could you see that being a problem in a relationship?
Yeah. So for example, if you were my partner and you and Jay had a very close and I couldn't understand it, then yeah, there would be issues coming up because I would have questions. You would be frustrated. We would go back and forth.
All we do is work. And all we do is working. Like our whole relationship is just work. But because of the line of field of work, it requires us to spend so much time together. Would that be a problem? Would you think that would be a problem in a marriage?
Well, I think there's just a time where you have to practice some self-control and put off the jealousy, because jealousy can be pretty extreme, enough to be like, okay, well, you have to quit your job so you stop working with this man. Like I would think that would be like an extreme amount of jealousy. I think God wants us to put off jealousy and to trust, the person that we're with. And, if they did decide to do something like that, you just trust God that he'll lead you out of it. Just keep following God and he'll help you through it. And I'm sure he would probably bring you a person that he wants for you. So,
yeah. And to piggyback off that, I would say God knows your heart And God knows in my spirit that wouldn't sit right with me. So that you wouldn't be my person. So if you told me that this is what you had to do, I would decline. I'd be like, you know what, this isn't going to work out because this is not something.
my offer.
It's not going to work
I
out.
would decline us going further because I know this is not something that you're comfortable with. Everybody still has to do stuff in their comfortability as well. And sometimes your spirit, if it doesn't sit right with your spirit, your Holy Spirit, because your Holy Spirit constantly talks to you. If it doesn't sit right, then that shouldn't be something for you.
And I could see just having this conversation how being friends is important, because being friends, you'll understand, you'll know their position, what their interests are, where their career path is at. Because if y'all know anything about video production, and I speak for myself, in video production, it's a very male-dominated field. Like even just in college, like it was either me or the max 3 other women in our classroom.
Yeah.
Even like there's a lot of more women in film, but majority it's very male dominated.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of problems in my relationship. But maybe if he would have seen that side of me before, and he would have taken it, on it and looked at it different.
Yeah. People being friends, you guys know your own boundaries. You guys have that communication within yourself as 2 people, 2 adults, 2 people, 2 kids, whatever. Just maintaining that friendship. If one person is not comfortable with proceeding in the way that you want to proceed, then understand that your expectation is okay. It may not happen, but don't feel like it's rejection. Just understand that this person can still be a gift in your life, even though this person may not be your partner that you're hoping for.